name is Jason Worrelman. I lead our industry healthcare practice at UiPath, and welcome to our UiPath virtual office. So we want to bring you something special. Every week we've been bringing you a webinar series featuring some of our guest panelists, which are some of our partners and some of our clients, and how they're using hyperautomation today. At HIMSS 20, where we all hope to see you, we also had a number of demonstrations that we had custom created with our partners, our customers, and even internally in our innovation labs, showing some of our best feature technologies, including forms, attended automation, and how you can use that with email, all the way to artificial intelligence and how you incorporate that with AI Fabric. So what we've done today is ask three of our specialists, Melvin Hutchins, Javed Ali, and Lisa Weber, to come to us and showcase some of these demonstrations for you. I hope you enjoy these segments that we put together for you, and we hope to see you every week inside our webinar series. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Hi, my name is Lisa Weber, and I am part of UiPath's Healthcare Industry Solutions practice. My career path before joining UiPath focused on the administration of physician practices and hospital physician networks. Today, I will be facilitating this webinar focused on how to improve clinical efficiencies through hyperautomation. The personas that will benefit from this webinar are the Chief Operating Officer and the Chief Medical Officer or Chief Medical Information Officer and the Chief Nursing Officer. But we also have a bunch of new titles that started around 2015. These are the Chief Innovation Officer, the Chief Clinical Innovation Officer, and the Chief Digital Officer. The following videos we are going to show emphasize 4 key value drivers for improving clinical quality and effectiveness. These are removing the administrative burden on patients and employees, reducing the time it takes to diagnose patients, increasing the accuracy of treatment plans, and improving patient outcomes. For example, decreasing the length of stay or reducing readmission rates. For a copy of this webinar or the demonstration videos, please contact me at lisa.weber@uipath.com. Today we will take you through a patient's journey, starting with making a patient appointment through to the end of the initial clinical visit. The first 2 videos will demonstrate a patient making an appointment and then arriving at the clinic to check in and be seen by the clinician. The second 2 videos illustrate the use of machine learning algorithms and how their results can enhance the treatment and outcome of the visit. UiPath illustrates how machine learning modules can be embedded into the RPA platform using the AI Fabric and can automate processes from beginning to end. Moving on to our first demonstration, let's watch a patient make an appointment effortlessly. Also take notice that an administrative staff person is freed up to tend to the patient's critical needs. One of the major functions supporting a clinic is scheduling. Many labor hours are spent scheduling, rescheduling, canceling, and bumping patient appointments. This is a mind-numbing exercise that happens all day, every day in a clinic. As technologies have improved, the ability for patients to schedule their own appointments is becoming mainstream. However, scheduling entails more than reserving a time with a clinician. It also includes the verification and validation of insurance information. In this video, a chatbot is used to guide the patient in scheduling an appointment, and OCR is used to extract information from the insurance card to provide real-time benefits information. All these actions are done without human intervention and recorded into the EMR using RPA. We also have reduced manual administrative time by 40% and increased the real-time verification benefits by 75%. Let's watch the patient secure an appointment. So the first thing we're going to see is the chatbot asking the new patient if they'd like to make an appointment and whether or not they're new or an existing. And since they're an existing patient, they're going to upload their driver's license. So they're providing their driver's license, and what this does, it gives the ability for the robot to open up the EMR and check to see if that patient does in fact exist. In this case, we use actually SolaceMed, which is an open EMR platform. There's many others out there, And we use a few of them in our demonstrations so that you can see that it doesn't matter what EMR we use, but that RPA, specifically UiPath, can use any of them. So here we're entering into SolaceMed. We're searching for the patient. We're bringing up, her name is Gail Sample, and we're checking on her. We found. So with that information, we're passing it to the chatbot and saying, hey, Gail, is this you? Is this your date of birth? Is this information really you? And she verifies it. So now what we're doing is we're going back into the EMR and we're saying, okay, this is Gail. Now let's check her driver's license information and make sure that the address is the same. And in this case, it isn't. So we will update it according to what the driver's license says. So far, we've demonstrated the chatbot, the use of OCR and ICR to extract the digital information off of the driver's license, and then RPA as it navigates through the open EMR system. So now we're looking for the insurance card. Once again, the insurance card is going to be uploaded using ICR and OCR. We retrieve data from the insurance card, and we pass this insurance card to a clearinghouse to understand whether or not Gail does in fact have insurance or not, and what type of insurance. Once we've gotten all the information and we're confident with what Gail has provided us, we can go ahead and make the appointment. As you can see, right now we're doing everything. We're adding the new health insurance plan to the EMR. Now, typically this is done by someone on the phone or someone that's at the clinic wanting to make a follow-up appointment, and all of this stuff is done. And as you can see, there's a lot of steps, there's a lot of process, it takes a lot of time. We've slowed this video down to be able to present it, but you can see all the activity that we're freeing up at this point. Not to mention that Gail is sitting at home using her computer or her phone to make this appointment. And there we go. We're now picking an appointment for Gail Sample. And if she approves it, she will be all set. We've scheduled the patient's appointment, so let's imagine the date is here and the patient has arrived in the clinic. Another repetitive rules-based task performed by the front desk is patient check-in. This is done for every patient, even if they don't show up. Another challenge is the protection of your personal identity when checking in. Using a camera with facial recognition software, a patient's identity can be verified and the patient can be checked in anonymously. The facial image triggers a task in Orchestrator to be started. This task is the bot navigating through the EMR to check in the patient. Once a patient is checked in, the medical assistants are notified of their arrival. All this can be done while the front desk attends to patients who need further assistance. This simple process has many benefits. Manual check-ins and errors are reduced by 75%, insurance fraud is minimized, and HIPAA compliance is increased to the highest standard. Let's see how we can check in a patient quickly and easily. As the patient arrives, the camera snaps a pic. In this scenario, we are using OpenCV as the facial recognition software. A task is created within Orchestrator. At this point, an unattended robot is triggered to start the check-in process. And as I mentioned before, in this example, we use OpenMRS, showcasing our ability to use any EMR system. We open the system, we look for the patient, in this case it's William Nelson, and we look up the patient history. So the rest of the video shows the bot navigating through the EMR and executing the actions needed to check in the patient and mark them as arrived and alerting the medical assistant that the patient is ready. The next steps you will see is the robot synthesizing all the medical documentation into the pertinent elements the clinician wants to review and needs to know upon entering the exam room, as we see right here. The intent is to have this displayed in a format that requires no screen interaction and is easily digestible by the clinician. So the first two videos had a lot to do with removing administrative barriers and streamlining patient access processes. Now let's look at a couple of videos focused on improving patient outcomes using state-of-the-art algorithms. Let's imagine now that a patient has just discovered she is pregnant for the first time. Today's problem around identifying women with high-risk pregnancies is that the process is very lengthy and involves the coordination and approval process between payers, hospitals, and case managers, which is difficult. The video illustrates how the average time frame of 4 to 5 weeks can be reduced to minutes by incorporating RPA, document understanding, and machine learning algorithms. The AI fabric is a platform that embeds and executes RPA, document understanding, and pre-built algorithms. The quantitative benefits are 95% reduction in enrollment cycle time and a 65% increase in patient compliance with high-risk protocols. The qualitative benefits are that the patients and case managers are paired early on, and therefore the patient becomes more engaged and compliant with their high-risk protocols. In the end, there are healthier babies. So let's watch this in action. We got this video as a courtesy of Amatec. The first slide, you will see all the processes they described that they automated and able to reduce the enrollment time for a high-risk pregnancy from 4 weeks to an hour and to decrease. And if you look at that across 10,000 patients annually, that reduces care costs by approximately $11 million. The process is using an unattended bot to navigate to a folder containing pregnancy risk forms and extracting the information from that folder. The right-hand side of the screen is the actual form, and the left-hand side illustrates how accurately the data was extracted. It is within this left-hand screen that corrections to errors can be made. Once everything looks good, we do a couple of more checks, and then we take the information and run it through the machine learning model. We check the member eligibility, we check the provider information, and then here we go, analytics at work. It's hard to see, but this first-time mom has a high risk score. At this point, the new mom is assigned a case manager and information is sent to her insurance carrier. Right now, they're assigning the case manager. Everybody gets notification, and now both the patient and the case manager are aware that there's a high-risk pregnancy. So the second demonstration uses a machine learning algorithm built by DataRobot to predict a patient's propensity for being readmitted once they are discharged from the ER or hospital setting. But we're going to do this in real time. As you're there in the ER or as you're there in the hospital being admitted or being discharged, we'll be able to predict what your readmission rate is. So healthcare is focusing time and effort towards reducing readmissions to decrease costs and improve care. This is one of their significant initiatives at this time. Currently, a patient enters the ER and is seen by a physician who is not their primary care. The ER physician has limited time with the patient, and his or her focus is on treating the emergent problem and then discharging the patient to move on to the next one. Because the patient's entire history is not reviewed or taken into consideration, often the patient will end up back in the ER or readmitted. The solution includes using RPA to navigate through the electronic medical record and aggregate the patient's health data points that will be compared to DataRobot's machine learning algorithm. Results of the comparison give an indication of how susceptible the patient is to being readmitted. Based on this real-time information, a treatment decision can be made that will benefit the patient. They can be given a protocol based on the results. Measurable outcomes include a 40% reduction in readmission rates and a 60% improvement in patient outcomes. So let's watch this. As the patient is sitting in the ER, the unattended robot has kicked off to search through the patient's medical record and find critical data points that are needed to run through the machine learning engine. Once all the information is gathered, it is formatted and submitted into the ML engine. Here we see reviewing the history and going through each tab to extract information. We're now gathering all this information and formatting it in such a way to feed it through the ML engine. Oh, there it is. The patient has a very high probability of being readmitted. So the protocol in this case is to schedule them for a follow-up appointment within 1 week. You don't need anybody to do this except the robot. So they're assigning another care manager to this patient and getting them in with their primary care physician within 1 week. The message is also sent to the provider that one of their patients was seen in the ER over the weekend. I hope you've enjoyed today's webinar, and we provided you with many ideas and thoughts on how to lessen the administrative burdens and improve clinical efficiencies using automation, chatbots, optical character recognition, facial recognition, and artificial intelligence, such as machine learning algorithms. Please be sure to watch our other webinars addressing the intelligent back office and solving interoperability to improve care coordination. Thank you.